Welcome. I am Brick Princess Buttercup and I am an adult fan of Lego. I am assuming, if you're watching this, that you are too, because otherwise you are lost, really lost. So I don't want to set any expectations up really high because there is nothing fancy about this video or any of my plans. On Instagram, I just announced that I was going to launch my YouTube channel on the 31st of January, and it is now the 31st of January, so I had to make a video. Okay. And when I was thinking about what I could do, I had all these crazy plans, and I was like, you know what? Just introduce yourself. So I'm going to extend an idea of something that I was tagged in on Instagram, which is 8 things, 8 tags. Forget about the tags part, but the 8 things was to share 8 random things about yourself, 8 random facts. And I thought that I would match up each of my random facts with a random Lego piece and just tell you why I like it, what I like about it. Okay, so first, I was supposed to be a twin. I am not a twin, which still breaks my heart. I'd love to be a twin. The reason they thought I was a twin is because up until about the age of 3, I had 2 distinct heartbeats. Yeah. For any Doctor Who fans out there, no, I'm not a Time Lord. Okay? So, the first piece that I want to show you is the ladder. And this is really useful. I mean, it can make a fantastic chair back. Oh, actually, it doesn't do too shabby a job of being a ladder either. But it's really connectable in other ways though. I was just recently playing around with it, and maybe you've discovered this already, I don't know, maybe it's common knowledge. But if you feed a 2x1 tile in the front of the rungs, here they slot in and it fits in really well, slots straight in, and get another ladder on the other side and lock it in like so. Okay, so see what I'm saying? Go in from the front, don't come in from behind, not from where the studs are. And the distance then is exactly 4 studs wide. So, which I find really handy. Like, I mean, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with this, but it is so solid. This connection is just, bang, yeah, really good. So if you make something with this, oh my God, please could you share it with me? Like in the comments, like tell me how I can find it, or send it to me directly. I have my email address in the bio, so send it there, or you can contact me on Instagram. Like, I answer messages pretty quickly. Okay, so that's the ladder. My second random fact is I am a southpaw, left-handed all the way. However, I write with my right hand, and that's because my very first school was so Catholic, like so unbelievably Catholic. Like, I'm talking someone was arrested for child molestation kind of Catholic. We were taught by nuns. There were a couple of lay people, but mostly nuns. We had to do a lot of rosaries and things as penance for, well, anything really. But some of them were like over 100 years old, and they'd been to Africa and done missionary work and things. So they had some really old ideas, like that left-handed meant it was the hand of the devil. So statistically, in any given situation, like I think it's like 1 in 10 people should be left-handed. I was in a class of 32, and only 1 person managed to remain left-handed. The rest of us were forced to switch. Yeah. Anyway, it's not that interesting really, but it is random. So the second piece that I want to feature is this amazing lattice fence. Now I know that they're ubiquitous. I know you see them in all kinds of things, but they are, in and of themselves, they are just so beautifully designed, and it is so handy just how well things connect, how well the stud will just fit straight inside the lattice work. I recently did a cute little build for the daily brick limit, which if you haven't seen, please check out that hashtag. There is some amazing stuff there on Instagram. Oh, blow your mind. So I did that where I locked in a pole going through the hole and locked it in with a flower at the other side, and it is so strong. Like, it's as though I glued it. That's how well it connects. It's fantastic. My third random fact is that I cannot remember, like, not at all, I cannot remember ever having sneezed fewer than 3 times. Typically it's around 7. That's a very standard amount. However, friends and family have kind of made it a bit of a hobby to count when I start sneezing, and the latest record is 22 in a row. So I'm expecting that to be broken, because 22 broke my previous record just a week later. Okay, so the third piece that I would like to feature is the old gear stick lever. Now, it's not really the lever itself, although I do love the lever. Like, together, the unit here, this assemblage together, is very useful. Obviously, as a gear stick lever, it's pretty perfect. Also good if you want to make a Dalek, talking to those Whovians out there again. But if you just use the base, so if you take the lever part out and you just use the base here, this is fantastic for greebling. Like, if you want to see how I've used it, go onto my Instagram page and go way back until you find my build of the Great Train Robbery, and you'll see these 2 freestanding rock walls that I've built, and the gear stick lever base has been used to pick it out and to give it that really rich rock face look, so that it works. Trust me, it works. It's a lot of fun too, just plonking them on in really random patterns. Okay, my fourth random fact is connected to my fangirl status. I'm a fangirl of a lot of things. One of them is mathematics, and one of my favourite mathematicians is Paul Erdős. I love number theory, and I love really clear, concise and elegant proofs, and obviously his proof was the one that he first published when he was like 19 or 20. Is just delicious. But I think what I really like about him is how collaborative he is. You know, when we think about mathematicians, we think about like someone solo scribbling, whereas he was like a total math bum. He was just trumpet. I don't think he even had a house. I think he just swapped and moved and visited from different people, and he collaborated with so many people. And low key, if I met somebody with a Paul Erdős number, even if I was in the most committed relationship like ever, like of all time, like complete soulmates, and you were exchanged each other's blood, whatever, I would ask for a hall pass if I met somebody who had a Paul Erdős number, because wow. So the piece that I'm going to use for that, because of is that amazing sort of community spirit and that collaborative nature, is this little dude, the gold ring. Oh, I was so desperate just to sing the Partridge in the Pear Tree, the 5 gold rings part. I'll spare you. So this one I love, like obviously for bling, and I love the fact that minifigs can have a bracelet, obviously, and it's very nice for the Lord of the Rings kind of stuff, because who doesn't like to do the golem voice, huh? But if you take the ring and you just stick it onto the stud, and this, don't worry, I don't think I'm sharing anything people don't know, but it is so satisfying to stick the ring on and then put a 1 by 1 the other direction, so you have reversed them. That's fab. Come on, like a little tiny shiny Lego Oreo. Beautiful. Okay, we are now at number 5. Number 5 is that I own some cards that I have never lost with. So I'd like to say it's one deck, but it's actually 3 decks, because when I lived in England, I used to play a lot of canasta and samba and Bolivia, and they use multiple decks. So it got to the point where I was hanging out with other card players, and I decided to buy my own decks so that if I went someplace and someone was ready for a game, I would just have it handy. And I was breaking them in because new cards, like a completely virgin pack, I don't know if you're cards players, but it's just stiff and you need to warm them up a bit. So I was just shuffling them, breaking them and moving them in. And a friend of mine was watching me, and apparently I was like singing or humming, and I was really focused, which I can kind of believe, because I do sing and hum a lot, like a lot. I will add whatever's going on and sort of tuck it into a song and sort of narrate what's happening, you know. Anyway, he looked at me doing that, and he made a joke, and he said, "Oh, are you putting a spell on those cards?" And I just laughed and said, "Yes, I'm hexing them so that I can never be beaten with them." Well, when we played, I won. And there was a joke that it's because I had put the spell on them. But then when I won the second game, the jokes weren't like quite as funny. By the 6th time, people were starting to kind of be a little bit, the 7th, 8th, 13th, 20th. It got to the point where people would ask, if we said if we're going to play, they said, "Are we using those cards?" And they wouldn't play if they were using those cards. So we had to use other cards. I still won, so it wasn't that I cursed them or anything. I mean, I didn't even know how to curse. But anyway, I still have the cards. So if anyone wants to see if they can beat me, yeah, let me know. So the piece I want to add with this one, is the roller skate, the fancy pants roller skate. I love this. This is just a gorgeous piece in my opinion. Obviously as roller skates it's fab because, you know, you just love those minifigs to get some exercise, huh? Tone up a little bit. Now obviously you can get quite a lot of texture in these, and you can see that in the Ecto one where they used it in the grill piece, which was drool-worthy, utterly gorgeous. But it also makes a great little face because those tiny little wheels, they make lovely tiny little bot eyes, I think. But you can use these to get texture anyway, like the stud can be facing out, or if you're using it at the back, that actually, you can make some stunning patterns with this. Like, it's just, that little cupping there is beautiful, and you can alternate it so it's going backwards and forwards, so you can make some gorgeous surfaces with it. But what I like about this is how it can just add tiny little add of realism to any piece of machinery, pretty much. If you go onto my Instagram account, just flick down through and see a lawnmower, and you'll see how I've used that, and it just lifts the build. It just bang, like without that you kind of go, oh yeah, that's okay, but with the roller skate it is, yeah, works. It just works. Okay, the next fact about me is about, actually not about me, it's about my hair. I work with kids, and kids are obsessed with my hair. They are always touching it, reaching out, flicking it and moving it, asking me questions about it, like why it's coloured, or if I will change it and dye it to a colour that they like, why it's so soft and fine. And sometimes they ask if they can touch it, sometimes they don't. And there's a couple of kids, because I work with kids with some, I don't know, some interesting idiosyncrasies. There's one boy in particular I have to be very careful because he starts out soft. He's like this. He holds it smooth, so lovely, yeah. And then he'll just hold it and pull it in, just so he can tell me how much he likes my hair. And I'm going, well, you could do that without the pulling. Thank you. So the piece that I'm going to share with this one is what I call the nipple piece. Now, I know there's lots of different names for this. I know some people have said that they think of it as the friend's peg, which is cute. I like that. But it's the nipple to me. It will always and forever be the nipple piece. Now, this is so great. But obviously, like here, because you have any of those little hair accessory pieces, any of the things that stick in the top of a minifig's hair will stick into these. So suddenly you have access to using things like bows in a whole new way. I just find them fascinating. And I find anything that have got the complete hollowness, I find those really tempting. I don't know about you, but I find these really cool, really cool. Okay, the next fact is, well, I discovered about, I think 8 months ago, that orange is not my favourite colour. I have thought for many years now that orange is my favourite colour, and I am moderately colourblind in 2 different ways. And I thought it was, I thought it was very, very mild, but it turns out that it's a little bit confusing, because I thought that orange was my favourite colour, and I found out by accident that it is not. It is in fact mustard yellow. Now, a couple of people tried to be very kind to me and go, oh yeah, I guess it's a kind of orangey yellow, but yeah, it's not. Mustard yellow doesn't sound as nice as orange, but it's a really nice colour, I think. Although colour isn't real anyway, we're all being hypnotised with it. And magenta, seriously, look up magenta, okay? Because it's not even on the spectrum, okay? It doesn't exist, we've just made it up. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to look like anyway. So coming on to the next random piece is these cherries. I love them. I just keep seeing them. I'm going, we've got to be able to use these in more ways than we do, you know? It shouldn't just be cherries. I kind of wish that we had some that went the other way, so that we could get a little bit more symmetry going on. That would be really nice. But the other day, for the daily brick limit challenge, I was going, I need to use these as legs, because I have thought that they're just such cute legs, like with the little cherries as the feet and just adorable little legs. And so I made a caterpillar with them, which, I thought was kind of cute. Not my most technical build, but fun, really fun. So I like these, and I try to use them wherever I can. I often pop them in places that they really don't belong. Like I made a 3-wheeler sort of steampunk vehicle the other day, which has total Robotnik vibes, by the way, and I just ended up just tucking these on here, there and everywhere. Why not? I like cherries. I like cherries in Lego, and I like them in my mouth. They are my favourite fruit. In fact, one dude used to call me Kirsche, which says means cherries in German. I don't know, I'm not German. He was, so I'm hoping he wasn't lying to me. I'm hoping it doesn't mean something absolutely vile. Okay, my last fact and the last piece coming up together is I never cross against the lights. So if I am crossing a road and press the button, or if it's an automatic one, or use my elbow in these days, I always wait until the light changes. First of all, I think it's really nice to actually just stop for a moment and just let them do their business, let them go and check, and so I don't have to be looking and checking and seeing what the psychos behind the wheels of the cars are doing. But also, I'm always really conscious of small children, like looking and watching, and if I'm running across it, ducking across, they're going to think that's okay, and they're more likely to die than I am, because their reflexes aren't as good and they don't have as great awareness of the, dangers. But it's a personal thing. I kind of like living my life within the rules, not in Lego, because I don't think there are any rules with playing. So this brings me to the last piece, which is the brackets. I've got both of them. I've got the bracket and the inverted bracket. These are game changers. These are total game changers. There is so much you can do with these. You can add in tiny little pockets of texture into any surface, just adding in one or other of these and moving them across so it's offset. It looks utterly gorgeous. And if you're making any micro build, these, just like seriously, start here. Start here. They're wonderful. They're fantastic for animals too. You can build them up and build them from, so you can get a great snout. Or I am a bit of an upside down builder, I must admit, so I would tend to do this way. So have the studs coming down and then build out here. But honestly, they make fantastic table legs as well. Like you just bang. I love them. I love them so much. Right, so that's the end of my 8 things. That's the end of my 8 pieces. That's a bit of an introduction to who I am. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these videos, except I do know what I'd really like to do is to just talk about the things I love in other people's mocs, and I'd love to do a roundup of some of the ideas I've really enjoyed on Lego ideas. I do have a couple of people I know that have got some things on Lego ideas. Maybe I'll see if they want an interview or something. But if there's anything that you would like me to do, let me know, hit me up, let's see. If it's something that I'm interested in or I think I could do, I'll give it a go. Yeah. All right, thank you so much for stopping by, and here's hoping that the next video is a bit more interesting. All right, cheerio.